Hello, good morning. Welcome to Gaming Insight Daily for Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your sometimes daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I have coffee in my Last of Us mug today. It's actually iced coffee instead of a regular coffee, so I'm actually really liking that. Definitely hitting the spot this morning. I hope everything's okay. Hope everything's all right. I unfortunately was a little bit, my body needed to rest, so unfortunately I had to spend the past couple of days chilling and resting so that I didn't want to push myself too much, so that's why I did not have any episodes of the show the past 2 days, but I hope that's okay. I'm back again. I'm pretty much okay. I'm at, I think probably 90% battery life left, so I'm okay with that right now, but hope that's okay. But I said but already. Too many times. I want to talk about something that is news from today, but also we're just kind of gonna have a little bit of a discussion, as it were. For those who may not know, or if you have not read the title of this video, if otherwise why'd you have clicked on it? Mario, our beloved Nintendo mascot, Mario, is turning 40 years old this year. Actually, as of this Saturday, September 13th, 1985. That makes me I am older than Mario. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am older than Mario. I can't believe that yep. Yep, I just realized that now. I'm 2 years older than Mario. But hey, that's cool. But here's the thing. What is Nintendo gonna do to celebrate Mario's 40th anniversary? You'd think it would be a big deal. 40 years? I would love it to be a big deal. You know, as a over 40-year-old man, I would love to be able to celebrate 40 years of something. But the problem is that Nintendo hasn't really been great at the anniversaries. We have yet to really see a good year of anniversaries from Nintendo celebrating their franchises. They didn't really do much for Luigi. They didn't really do much even for Mario's 35th anniversary. Even Zelda didn't really get they don't have the best track record. Let's just say that. But there are signs on the horizon that this year might be a little bit different. Let's jump into one sign in particular, the first one that was just announced this morning, in that Nintendo has a Direct. Nintendo's confirmed that its next Nintendo Direct will take place this week. This is by Chris Scullion over at VGC. According to Nintendo, the stream will be broadcast online on Friday, September 12th at 9 a.m. Eastern. So I'm definitely doing an episode of the show that day. VGC reported that last month, the source had told us Nintendo Direct presentation was planned for mid-September. While the full contents of the presentation are currently unknown, the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. Is on Saturday, which suggests new Mario-related announcements are likely. And they give a recap. During the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. 5 years ago, Nintendo released Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury. That's right. That's the Bowser's Fury. So it's the kind of the new expansion to Mario 3D World. Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, a Super Mario Bros. Game and watch, and the time-limited Super Mario 3D All-Stars and Super Mario Bros. 35. Actually, I still have my Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Hold on, I'm actually gonna go grab it. All right, I'm back. I still have my Super Mario 3D All-Stars, still in its plastic. I have not opened this up yet. I bought it thinking that I was gonna play it, but I have yet to do so. So I don't know. Is this worth anything? I don't know. If you know anything about that stuff, let me know in the comments. Because basically, if you don't know, Super Mario 3D All-Stars contains Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. And it's in here. It's in plastic. Still in plastic. You can see it. You can see it. Plastic. Still on there. So, I don't know. Maybe it might be worth something. Who knows? Anyway, back to the story. At the time of writing, there are no known Mario games in development, meaning it's likely the company's 40th anniversary plans will be shared during the Direct. It's also likely that this Nintendo Direct will finally meet the revealed announcements of Metroid Prime 4's Metroid Prime 4 Beyond's release date. I hope so. The game, which is still officially planned for this year, was rated by South Korea's classification board in July, rated by the ESRB last month, and rated again by Brazil's classification board today. While ratings news is rarely an exact indicator of a release date, it does suggest that we are likely to hear news about the game soon. The Direct will also be Nintendo's latest opportunity to confirm new Switch and Switch 2 games in development. 3 Nintendo games are confirmed to release by the end of this year: Pokemon Legends ZA on October 16th, and Kirby Air Riders on November 20th, and Metroid Prime 4. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is set to release this winter, which could mean late 2025 or early 2026. And Splatoon Raiders has been announced with no release window. Rhythm Heaven, Groove, and Tomodachi Life Living the Dream are coming to the original Switch in 2026. But beyond that, no other first-party Nintendo games are currently known. Now, beyond just sort of the Mario 40th anniversary for a second, let's talk about potentially what could be announced at this Nintendo Direct. I definitely do think that this would be probably the only opportunity to be able to announce the Metroid Prime 4's release date, because they've been kind of teasing that for a while, but they're still saying that it's going to come out this year. I've played it. I played it back in April. It's been at a lot of Nintendo Switch 2 events around the world where it's been playable. So it's got to come out this year. The thing that kind of worries me is the fact that they don't have a release date. And we're already into the fall of 2025, and this is the closest Nintendo's ever gone. Well, you might correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's definitely a good chance that they've done these kind of quick announcement of release dates, and that's it comes out soon after that. But generally, for a lot of their flagpole titles or flagship titles, there are generally like at least they got at least a couple months of leeway to be able to say, okay, it's coming out this time. So that gives them a lot of marketing opportunities. But with Metroid Prime 4, yeah, there's been marketing opportunities, but without a release date. And so if they don't announce a release date during this Nintendo Direct, this may be delayed. This may be delayed until the spring, which would suck, but it's the only one that's kind of still out there. Now, there's other stuff like Mario Kart DLC that could be potentially in here. There's obviously whatever new Switch 2 games are like kind of from Nintendo. Like, we still have yet to see, again, a Mario, we'll talk about that in a sec. We yet to see a full-blown like new Zelda game. We really don't know anything beyond just kind of where essentially like we're kind of where everything like the flagship stuff that we normally would have seen during Nintendo's like first year of the Switch 2. There's not a lot of games that are for the Switch 2. If basically if you had told me to put kind of money on it, I would probably say Donkey Kong is probably the standout game for this year. Like, I don't think Pokemon's getting, like, Pokemon will always sell well. That always does extremely well for Nintendo. And yeah, Kirby Air Riders might sort of hit. But I really, and Mario Kart World is just not really hitting audiences as much as we thought it was going to be. So I think that Donkey Kong is kind of like the standout hit for this year, unless Nintendo kind of comes up with something that's just wildly out there, like Metroid Prime 4 or something new. But we'll see. So I don't have any huge predictions for this Nintendo Direct. I do think that definitely there's going to be something 40th anniversary related, which we'll get into in a minute, and then also Metroid Prime 4 release date. That's the two main things that I would hope to see. And then a bonus Mario Kart World DLC. I think it's needed. I think that's going to confirm whether or not how much they're going to invest into Mario Kart. But we shall see. I really, Mario Kart DLC, I'm kind of up in the air about whether or not they're going to announce it at this Direct. Only just because a lot of people are clamoring for it because there's just not enough in Mario Kart World right now for people to be able to be interested in playing. So they're hoping for DLC to give players right now an idea of what they can expect from Mario Kart in the future, because otherwise right now there's not much worth the build of playing it. But I think that the DLC is kind of more fan expectations than necessarily Nintendo's own MO. when it comes to Mario Kart. Yes, they did do the booster packs at the end of the last cycle for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but they haven't really confirmed whether or not they're going to continue to do that for Mario Kart World. There's signs that it could be, but I'd be worried that fan expectations are kind of pushing this DLC idea a little too high. And that's and the thing is about Nintendo fan expectations is that you can't trust them. It's sad to say, but you can't trust them because you're going to be disappointed in some way, shape, or form. All right, let's jump into kind of what does Nintendo have planned for Super Mario's 40th anniversary? Now, I'm basically reading this sort of opinion piece off of Chris Scullion over at VGC, but I kind of wanted to be able to go through because Chris actually does have some interesting ideas of what they could have, what Mario could or Nintendo could have planned for Mario's 40th anniversary, and some of them actually I kind of would agree with. First off, I won't sort of read all this. I definitely would encourage you to please go read this article to be able to kind of get Chris's full thoughts on this. But let's talk about the individual things that he brought up. A brand new 3D Mario game. Chances of this actually happening, of an announcement this week, 2 out of 5. But yeah. Anyway, let's start with the one most people would be happiest with: a brand new 3D Mario game from the same team behind Super Mario Odyssey. As of next month, would have been 8 years since the release of Odyssey, marking the biggest ever gap between 3D Mario games by some distance. The previous record was 6 years between Mario 64 and Sunshine. So surely we're due the next entry. There are a number of reasons against the possibility of this happening. We're only 2 months removed from the release of Donkey Kong Bonanza, a large open world 3D platformer, so Nintendo may not be keen on releasing another so soon, even though, given the rest of its 2025 release schedule, we'd probably be looking at 2026 by the time it's ready. Nintendo also told us before Bonanza's release that it was made by the same team that developed Super Mario Odyssey, but didn't give more detail on this. We've since learned that not all of the Odyssey team worked on the game, but there was still a lot of staff crossover, as director Kazuya Takahashi puts it. Nintendo's EPD team have been working on 2 3D platformers at the same time. We know that Bonanza started off as a Switch game before being moved over to Switch 2. So does that mean the EPD was already working on something else with Switch 2 fully in mind? Either way, given that Odyssey ended up with an astronomical Metacritic score of 97, it would be madness to think that at least one Nintendo team or somewhere hasn't been working on a new 3D Mario platformer for some time now. And then another suggestion that Chris mentions, Super Mario 3D All-Stars 2. Chance of announcement this week, 4 out of 5. Nintendo may have received criticism for making Super Mario 3D All-Stars a time-limited release, but there can be no denying that it was an effective strategy. By following the same sales technique Disney used for its VHS and DVD releases back in the day, I remember the Disney Vault, Nintendo decided to celebrate the Super Mario Series 35th anniversary with a limited edition release, ensuring players rushed to buy it before it was too late. Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which consisted of 18 ports of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, certainly didn't suffer from the fact that it featured 3 of the most well-loved games in Mario's history, even if Sunshine is a bit more love it or hate it. Despite only being on sale for 6 months before it was pulled from shelves and delisted from the Switch eShop, Super Mario 3D All-Stars sold more than 9 million copies. Not bad, going for a trio of ports of games that had already sold in the millions. Should decide to pull the same trick again for Super Mario's 40th, however, or should Nintendo do? My suggestion is Super Mario 3D All-Stars 2, another limited edition release that could bundle a much requested game with 2 others which are less frequently made available. A lot of people bought Super Mario 3D All-Stars to get an HD version of Super Mario Galaxy, so it stands to reason that Super Mario Galaxy 2 should feature in a second compilation, bringing already 97 rated Metacritic game to the Switch library. As for the games bundled with it, I like to see Super Mario 64 DS, an interesting remake of the N64 game complete with new characters and missions, which would hugely benefit from a control revamp, and the grossly underrated 3DS title Super Mario 3D Land. Nintendo has already brought such 3DS titles as Miitopia and Luigi's Mansion 2 to Switch, so the idea of remastering Super Mario 3D Land is an entirely crazy one. I would actually say, yeah, this could potentially be the case, but I would. The question is, are these games going to sell 3D All-Stars 2 as well as the original 3D All-Stars for the 35th anniversary? Because when you look at the 3D, the All-Stars, which I have here, having an N64, Sunshine, and Galaxy are kind of like the top three. I mean, yeah, some people say one of them is love it or hate it, but you're talking about like the definitely the games that people would like recognize and definitely want. Having 3DS ports, I don't know. I mean, Galaxy 2, sure, that would definitely make sense. But I don't know whether or not it would be worth it to be able to have to basically to like what games could they put on it. If it's a 3DS port, something, I don't think that's going to be as popular as the original All-Stars. So yes, while this may potentially be like an actual like a good indicator of like, okay, yeah, this 3D Mario All-Stars 2 might come out, I would be very reluctant to see, like, I'd be very curious to see what games they would choose. I mean, who knows? Nintendo may choose, like, yeah, 3DS ports were great. We'll do that. Another suggestion that Chris sort of mentions is Super Mario Sunshine on GameCube Library. Chance of announcement this week, 4 out of 5. The delisting of Super Mario 3D All-Stars means there's once again no way to legally buy Super Mario Sunshine or Super Mario Galaxy on Switch, at least not a brand new copy, good old physical cards. While the Nintendo Classic selection of Switch Online apps doesn't yet offer Wii games, the launch of Switch 2 did bring with it the addition of a GameCube library for the first time. So far, there are 5 GameCube games on the app: The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, Super Mario Strikers, F-Zero GX, and Chibi Robo, and Nintendo seems to be releasing them on a monthly basis. That means it still has to announce which game is coming to this month. And given that the original GameCube app announced trailer listed Super Mario Sunshine as one of the games planned for release, it would stand to reason that this should be the month it happens. Nothing in this feature is 100% guaranteed, but if I were to put my money on the most likely announcement, it would be this. And he does have a good point. I think definitely Mario Sunshine could be added on as the GameCube library, but I don't know whether or not they're going to want to still keep this as limited edition as possible by making one of these games available outside of this collection. But Nintendo has been known to be able to do stuff like that in the past, so that's probably a good chance. And the fact that they have not announced sort of the GameCube game coming out, this Nintendo Direct this Friday probably could work. Super Mario World movie news. Chance of announcement, 4 out of 5. Love it or hate it, and for what it's worth, I really enjoyed it. Super Mario Bros. Movie was an enormous success. By the time the dust has settled, and it grossed $1.36 billion, that's billion with a B, worldwide to become the 3rd highest grossing animated film ever, though it's since dropped to 5th and the 18th highest grossing film of all time, ahead of the likes of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Frozen, and Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. Sorry. The inevitable sequel was announced last year and is set to appear in cinemas on April 3rd, 2026. Although its title has yet to be confirmed, it seems all but certain to be Super Mario World. A press release published on the NBC Universal website in May to promote an upfront showcase where it shows its upcoming releases to business partners made reference to a number of upcoming titles, including Downton Abbey, the grand finale, Megan 2.0, and Super Mario World. Oops. The title was swiftly removed from the press release, but given the Yoshi-themed teaser at the end of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, it makes perfect sense. Either way, given that the first film was released on April 5th, 2023, it gives us a time frame to work with when it comes to announcements for the sequel. I think definitely a teaser trailer for this would definitely be something we should see. I think having at least some sort of Super Mario World movie news would be ideal. I think that that's something that is... Given the 40th anniversary of Mario, this would be a good day to be able to release it. This is just makes good marketing sense. And if they don't have it for that, someone dropped the ball somewhere. Next up, free Mario Kart World DLC. Chance of happening, 3 out of 5. It's now been 3 months since the release of Mario Kart World, and I imagine some players will have seen most what it has to offer by now. One of the things that kept players coming back to Mario Kart 8 on Wii U was the introduction of 16 bonus DLC courses. When Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came to Switch, Nintendo released 6 more waves of 8 courses, leading to an eventual total of 96 tracks. I don't doubt that Mario Kart World will eventually get some sort of large paid DLC expansion. That open world map has a lot of blank space in the corners, after all, but 3 months is maybe a bit too early for something like that. See, I knew Chris was on my side on this one. I just think it's a little too early. I mentioned earlier, I think that the fan expectation of DLC is a little too soon. I think it's a little like that. I think Chris, you nailed it on the head. I think it's a little too soon to be talking about DLC stuff. Next year, potentially. But I think it's a little too early. And yes, it's going to disappoint Mario Kart World fans. I know some of my friends, even those I even podcast with, are just, they think that this is just like, if they don't do it, this is like a failure of Nintendo. I don't think it's a failure of Nintendo. I just think that it's a little too soon to basically to start thinking about paid DLC. Because imagine this. Imagine if it is paid, right? Okay. We already spent Canadian $110 on this game. And now we're having to spend another more paid DLC 3 months after release. Or at least within the first 6 months of release. No, that's just that. I think people will be more upset about that than necessarily the fact that we're not getting any new DLC. I think it's just a little too soon. I think definitely Nintendo would probably put this out next year, but not or they may even have an announcement of it, but I don't think it's going to be coming out anytime this year. I think that if they do announce anything of DLC in Mario Kart at this direct, I don't think it's going to come until next year. I think that's my prediction of this. Now, I have been right on my Nintendo predictions as of late. I did predict that there was earlier this summer that they were going to do either a partner direct or indie showcase and then a proper Nintendo direct in September. I thought that they were going to do one or the other of the indie world or partner showcase. They ended up doing both, and they're doing a Nintendo direct in September. So I am right. Hopefully my predictions can be right before in the future. I have no other previous knowledge of this. Super Mario Bros. 40. Chance of announcement this week, 3 out of 5. As part of the 30th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. 5 years ago, Nintendo released one of the best multiplayer games it's given us in recent years. Super Mario Bros. 35 did what Tetris 99 managed before it, and F-Zero 99 has done since, and it turned a classic game into a massively multiplayer online battle. There are a few games more like classic than Super Mario Bros. Hence articles like this speculating about the upcoming 40th anniversary in the first place. So messing with a sacred formula could have been like taking a crayon to the Magna Carta. Instead, I like that. That's a good paragraph, Chris. I like that. Instead, Super Mario Bros. 35 was a huge entertaining game that essentially brought the Super Mario Bros. Speedrunning culture to the masses and threw in other tension-building features like a countdown timer and the ability to spend coins on an item roulette. There was no greater feeling than being seconds from elimination from them getting a Starman from the roulette and plowing through seas of enemies to top up your timer. Alas, such elation wasn't to last. Because limited time releases were apparently in fashion at Nintendo that year, Super Mario Bros. 35 was similar to Super Mario 3D All-Stars in that it only remained available for 6 months before being pulled off the eShop. Problem is, whereas 3D All-Stars can still be played to those this day by those who own it, because Super Mario Bros. 35 was an online game, its delisting killed it dead. The only main criticism level of the game was that it got a bit repetitive after a while, so not only would I like to see a theoretical Super Mario Bros. 40 sticking around for a bit longer, I'd also like to see timed events that let players unlock new characters, stages, or skins. Nintendo already made a wealth of 8-bit cameo characters for Super Mario Maker. Bring them back and let us play Inkling Girl to celebrate when Splatoon Raiders comes out, for example. I think that's a good call. I think I would like to be able to see a Super Mario Bros. 40, do like a whole new spin on the 99 sort of aspect that they've been kind of building up their own little franchise of. So yeah, I would love to be able to see that too. I think I would be very cool with that. Tetris 99 timed event, potentially 5 out of 5. Come on, 40th anniversary, 40 special theme, surely. Yeah, I could see that happening too. But yeah, I think that those are some pretty solid ideas of what Nintendo could do for its 40th anniversary. Now, I definitely would think that yes, a 3D Mario game could potentially be inevitable. And the thing that I'm kind of wondering is whether or not we're sort of overlooking a potential 2D Mario game. Yes, Super Mario Wonder is barely, I think, 2 years old. Let me look that up real quick. Super Mario Wonder release date. When was that? October 2023. Okay, so it's been about 5 years since not 5 years. It's been about 2 years since Super Mario Wonder has come out. Having a 2D Mario game instead of a 3D Mario game I'm kind of curious to see whether or not they might do that. I think some people, and maybe even yourself, are probably saying, "Nah, Steve, that this is probably not the what they're going to do." But Nintendo zigs when we think they're going to zag. So I think that potentially we might see a 2D Mario instead of 3D Mario. Granted, yes, I would love to have been able to see, okay, what is the Nintendo doing of the fact that they have not had a 3D Mario game since Odyssey? So it's been 8 years. I mean, here's the thing: if I had to choose, I would prefer a 3D Mario game, but I wouldn't put Nintendo past doing a 2D something, or maybe even who knows, pie of the sky idea, a complete remake of Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario World, or I don't know, like the original. Like a whole like 3D pie of the sky, like thinking wildly out of the box, a 3D version of the original Super Mario. I don't know. Could be interesting. But that being said, Nintendo has does not have to do any of these, because they could do one or all or none. And Nintendo is again not great at sort of at doing anniversaries. I think the Super Mario World movie is probably inevitable. I think that because that's coming out soon, definitely within the next 6 months. So, basically next year. It's coming out next year. So they would have to have something. Like there is a marketing beat to be had, and having it coming out on the 40th anniversary, that's a good marketing beat to be able to put a trailer out. So yes, that. Anything else beyond that, it's kind of up in the air of what Nintendo could do. We could even see a whole brand new Mario experience that we have not even predicted or even thought of. And I'd be very curious to see kind of what that could be. Nintendo likes to be able to throw things in there that we never would predict or never would have thought of, but it just makes it fun and exciting. So for me, I would say definitely movie news. I would say hopefully an actual Mario game, a new Mario game announced, whether that be 2D or 3D. I think a potentially other it could be other things. I think the other things of potentially like a Super Mario World 40 or All Stars 2 or any other, I think there'll be definitely some themed events for some of its games already. I think that stuff is up in the air. I don't think there's no prediction that will sort of this is going to happen. There's not a lot of smoke there but then again, Nintendo does like to be able to just throw things out as wild and crazy announcements. And who knows, maybe this could be the year they turn around and being like, yeah, the Mario deserves to be able to have a good anniversary, and it is the 40th, so let's do it right. But again, Nintendo gonna Nintendo, and they're gonna do whatever the heck they want. So I leave the question to you: what do you think that that Nintendo is going to do for its 40th anniversary? I would love to be able to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section down below. That's gonna be it for me today. I would be very curious to see read your thoughts on Super Mario stuff, or what do you think is gonna be planned in the Nintendo Direct. Let me know in the comment section down below. That's gonna be it for me. I will probably be back again, hopefully tomorrow, and then definitely Friday for whatever is the Nintendo Direct's gonna be. I'll probably do my reaction video of that one, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, take care, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.